Hi, welcome to Back 40 Auto Works. My name's Jeremy. My friends call me Styles. This is a channel about me trying to build and fix, repair, modify, customize cars without a whole lot of experience or money. Just like most of you, I would imagine. Um, the last video I posted, we were putting a new washer pump in the wagon, and I decided to put an electric pump in instead of the one that it came with. A lot of you were saying, why would you do that? Just get the right pump, right? Well, the right pump was here, was in town, was available, but it was $100, and I'm cheap. So I also had a whole lot of stuff here already to try and fix it for nothing. So that's what we did. So I did put a pump at the old '78 Buick, and it worked great for 3 days. So, however, most of the wiring is already done for an electric pump, so I'd like to kind of keep that. I'll just I picked up a better pump, a brand new one. So that's something that's going to get done today. It's a universal electric pump. It should work okay, I hope. And hopefully we can get back at this old thing here and fix the mess I made on the roof. We'll see what happens. So this is my new pump here. Nice little electric unit. I'm just going to tap it right into the original bottle that was in the car, which is down on the floor there. I did save it. I didn't get rid of it. Looks like it even has the adapter in here to go from the small line, rubber line that it comes with, to the bigger GM line there. I'll take that out in a minute so you can see a little bit better. And of course, instructions. I'll see if I can't mess them up one way or another. We'll see how she goes. So I put the old bottle back in where it belongs. May as well use it. Don't want to butcher things too much. We don't need to. She wants me to mount this pump like this. So maybe put her over here. If that hood will close, maybe we'll see if that will go right there. Anyway, we'll figure that out in a minute. I guess you could even put it right there. Close the battery. I think I have enough hose I could do that. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Guess we got to figure that part out before we get too far. Sometimes these backyard fixes are a little more work than a fellow expects them to be. And yes, I should be putting the proper pump back on it, but it's my friggin' car and I don't want to. So I like the electric pump better than any of the modern vehicles I've owned. It's one thing I do seem to favor the modern vehicles for is some of that stuff is just better off electric. Anyway, see where I can put that pump. How much hose do I have? I probably have enough. I think I do. I can take that out of there. It's not using it anymore. Let's come over to this. We'll get her. We got her. Yep. All right. Actually, could ground him right there, couldn't we? Maybe we will. You may have just eliminated the wire. All right. That's gonna go there though. So I'll come to. She's all getting figured out here. Here. So that is my out. That's my in. The next fella in. All right. Now, that's got to go to that fella right there. So I need this fella. And I'll have to plug that off. Now let's see what it does. Oh. There we go. Washer fluid. All right. Now I got hooked up to the button. How much more of that do I need? Quite a bit more. That won't get that far, will it? No, it's all right. We'll do some splicing here, because I got to. That's how things work. Here we go. Maybe I'll just use that green wire I threw away. Yeah. Keep in mind, once again, that this is not the right way to do this. We're just however, it will probably be a half decent fix. Repair. Better. Now we'll try the key. Let's see. All right. One problem fixed for now. I do have a push button for the dash, which I may or may not put in later. It's here. I'm going to zip tie some of this all, put some of it in there. Zip tie it in place just because. Oh, that did leak a bit, didn't it? Yeah, it did leak. So, I got to figure out something better than that, of course. But for now, it'll work. All right, so now that I got that washer pump sorted out with the Oldsmobile, there are some other things I want to do to it eventually. I have a nice set of sport mirrors off of Caprice that I'm going to put on. They're more of a teardrop shape. They're a little better than the ones that are on it. They so mainly because I can't adjust the ones that are on it anymore. The cables are wore out and the springs are gone, and mirrors want to flip flop every which way what they're supposed to go. I get to guess at what's behind me. That's not great. The audio system is terribly, terribly lacking. It did have 4 speakers, of which 2 still work. However, there are options for that as well. I have some vintage audio equipment here. A nice audio box cassette deck. Another, I think that's actually a General Motors cassette deck. I'm not really sure what it's called. There is a name on it. I can't see it. It does light up when I hook it up to battery. I'm not sure if the cassette works in it or not. There's an old Sherwood cassette deck that was laying in the Buick. I have a CB, breaker 10-4 and all that junk, So might put that in. And I have one of these equalizer boosters. These are 100-watt 4-channel boosters. They actually work pretty well. Back in the day, oops, sorry about that. Back in the day, I used to have one of these in an old Chevette, and it would pound 2 subwoofers pretty hard. And at 100 watts, 4-channel. So we may use that as well. We're not sure yet. There is, of course, some CD players. I don't think any of these are Bluetooth. I may spend the money for Bluetooth head unit. That old Clarion, I had an old S10, it works not too bad. It does have an auxiliary port for my phone. The old Sony does have a USB. So I wouldn't mind Bluetooth in it. Have to have some technology every now and then. And we have, hidden over here, a subwoofer, or as Ivy calls them, a boom boom. So those are future plans for all that stuff. None of that is anything that's going to happen majorly soon, but it's there. I actually will still have to buy some regular speakers for it, maybe a pair of 6x9s and a couple of 4 or 6-inch door speakers. I'm not sure. I'm not looking for anything really fancy. Just something, other than the one channel that plays Christmas music. It gets pretty monotonous after a while. And it only comes in maybe once or twice a month, so most of the time you're hearing, that's all you get out of it. Factory GM stereos, what can you say? So we're going to try to get back at the Hudson over there and get some of those dents out. Try something a little different. Try and get around here. As you can see, my shop is a complete mess. There's an old 305. That's Uncle Dave's. The old LS that we tried to put in the Buick. Garbage. We'll save it for parts. Sneak by the 32 here. Please excuse the mess and the lighting. For those of you that don't know, there's a Nissan engine sitting in the 32. That's another project that's been started and will have to be finished. All right. So, as you know, I've said before many times, the Hudson is full of dents on the roof from the fire, the heat warpage. You can see them. The crown is not consistent like it's supposed to be. There's dips and dives in it. You can see that one. That's a pretty bad one there. There's another one there. Another one right there. There's quite a few of them. And this is the one that I've been pounding and cutting on, which I'm told I didn't need to do. But that's just my lack of knowledge. I always have the assumption that once fire warps the roof, you can't do much with it. That heat wouldn't work and that you couldn't pound the dents back out of it. Anyway, we're going to try that. Okay, so this first little dent here, I've laid a straight edge on it. So you can see just how much of a indent it is. That straight edge is actually following the crown of the car. So that dent's not too bad. It's maybe about a 1/4 inch deep. So this is the first one I'm going to try. I'm going to try pounding some of these out before I get back to repairing that, because I'm afraid I'll probably be cutting and patching that mess. And again, mistakes to be learned from. Now, so this is what we're going to tackle first. And as I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to put a skim of glass or fill over. Now, I said in the very beginning of this channel, this is going to be about me learning as much as some of you guys who don't know what you're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing either. I said from the beginning there's going to be mistakes. So, case in point, the roof of the Hudson. Now, I make a lot of mistakes, and I got to try and learn what I'm doing wrong, and that was, where I'm at with this. So, as I said a few minutes ago, I'm going to try something different. Any of those who have any other ideas, go ahead. Chime in, tell me what you think. The cutting and welding I thought was working, and it is to a degree, but I'm not really quite getting the result I wanted. And as I said just a few minutes ago as well, I thought when a vehicle has been through fire and there's been heat damage and warpage that you couldn't repair that. Now, I have since seen some YouTube videos myself, because we like YouTube, where, yes, you can pound the dents back. So a friend of mine has lent me a Porta Power. I have some body hammers, some rubber hammers. I'm going to try and do as much as I can by myself just to see what happens. may have to call in Dave for help because everybody needs Dave every now and then. And we're going to see if we can slowly correct these dents with the old-fashioned hammering and dollying like you're supposed to be able to do. Maybe we'll try some heat. I'm also told you could heat the crown of a dent and shrink it with some cold water. We'll try that too. For now, I'm going to try some pounding with possibly this using this porta power inside the car and push the dent up and try to pound around it. And we'll see how that goes. As I said from the outset, I don't need it perfect because I'm not perfect. That'll make it perfect. However, I just need to get enough on there that I don't have half inch of fill. There's going to be some fill for sure. There's going to be a lot of fiberglass on it. But it's not going to be an award-winning car. It's just going to be a car for me and my family and friends to enjoy. As long as it looks good from like 20 feet away, I'll be happy. Anyway, we'll see what we can do here. So one of the voices in my head said to me, before you get that porta power out, why don't you just try your jack and see how it works? And I said, yeah, all right, don't sound too bad. So we'll fire the jack in there, put that piece of post on, maybe a block of wood, and see how it goes from there before we get to the porta power, which we'll probably just go through anyway. Not I don't claim to be incredibly brilliant or smart or any of that. A whole lot of let's see what happens in my life. Sometimes it even works. I don't think that's going to be the right spot. That's what I want. Alright, scratch that. Please excuse the poor camera angle, it's just me. Again, very low budget channel. Me and my phone, whatever lighting I can scrounge up. Hopefully things will get better as time goes on. Move it out here. Put that brand new wouldn't want to be cracking the teeth with that. No. Okay. Multi-purpose. That's actually going to be Alright, I have a little bit of a divot here. I'm going to try and pound it around what I think is the crown and see what that does for me. It may not do a thing. Alright, bear with me. I assume it's going to take a lot more than that. Well, now, it might have. Still some spring there. Not as much. Not as much. I did put a bit of a dent in there, which I didn't want. Yep. We're going to be, let's take that hammer and tap that back down. Mess we made. Because we don't want that. What I want to do I'm gonna go get a torch. So quite obviously it can still be shaped because I put a dimple in it. Anyway, I'm gonna try and keep this where I know the grounds are. See if I can push it up with that. And see what happens. Maybe even just use my hammer. Oh, something popped out. That's not too bad. I don't want this for that to pop back. I don't think it will. Alright, let's see what happens. Again, lots of learning. This might not have worked. Seems to have. Let's maybe try. Definitely is doing something. Yeah, that crown, that part's not as bad as it was. No, I know it was. It's working. It's working. I now have maybe 30 seconds. Well, it's half as big as this. Oh, slide in. We're getting there. Alright, try that again. It's not the best torch for this, but it's what I got. I don't know if we're gonna hot enough. Do what we can do. Do what we can do. See if that done anything. I might just beat the wrong side too. I can feel where that's moved. Well, I don't know. All right. I think it's doing something. Let's see. Let that down and see if it's done anything for us. We are slowly working it out. Well, it's getting better. Definitely getting better. Where's I'll make my Take the sheet out, does it? I should have taken the spring out of there. I'm hoping that that's starting to take the spring out of it. It's quite a. The worst part is a lot of the dents run into one another. So, not really sure where I should start and where I should stop. But again, we will figure it out. I'll let that down. We'll see if it's helped anything. Well, stay there. She's bouncing back. Perfect. That's what we want. All right, so as you can see, we've had some success. It is working. You can tell by the straight edge that dent is nowhere near what it was. I think she's going to work. That little dent is pretty well gone. It's not perfect, little tiny bit of a crown, but that's a lot more fillable. And when I pound it on with my hand, it didn't dent again. So for me, it's just learning where I can shrink the metal with the hammer and a little bit of heat. I think the heat's helping. I'm not 100% that I'm doing this the right way, but it is working. So that's what we will continue to do. As you can see, it has worked considerably better over here where the dent was. She's pretty well gone. Then the first attempt of the cutting, shrinking, heating, grinding, welding mess there. But again, this is me learning. Mistakes will be made. Now we just need to correct them. All right, so that's probably going to be it for this video, because now that I have this figured out, I will carry on and do that. And I'm going to go all over the roof, finish all the dents, which I will show you in the next video. Tonight, I just wanted to make sure that I could get that to work, as inexperienced as I am with this stuff. Make sure it was going to be what I needed to do. I'm quite excited that I don't need to heat and cut so much anymore. My welding skills aren't bad, but I'm told just trying to weld this stuff is terrible, as I mentioned in my last videos, all because of the heat. And I only have a flux core welder. So anyway, that's working. I'm very happy. The results are much better than the first time. So again, the next video, we're going to tackle the rest of this roof and hopefully get some sanding and take some of this rust off. Sierra is quite excited to get out here and sand. I've been putting it off for a couple months, and she's getting a little disappointed. So we're gonna have to get her out here with some kind of sanding equipment and suit her up. And so next video, I'll be working on this roof, taking as many dents as I can out before I figure out how to address that other mess. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. I realize my channel is not as streamlined as some others. However, we'll get there. Thanks again, and have a good one.